Opportunity. For those of you that I have not yet had the opportunity to meet, I'm Jacoby Burbank. I'm a lifelong resident of Sublette County and dedicated to serving this community. Having worked at the Fairgrounds Public Library and now in the Assessor's Office, I'm ready to step into the role of County Clerk with energy, experience, and a dedication to serve. I have a strong foundation for this position. I graduated with honors from Big Piney High School, earned my bachelor's degree from the University of Wyoming, where I frequented the honor roll and frequented the honor roll and earned the prestigious Trustees Scholarship. Go Boats! I'm also pursuing my master's degree in public policy and administration currently. I have a strong dedication to learning outside of the classroom as well. I am dedicated to ongoing training, certification, and making sure that I know the best practices for local government. I know that there's a lot of major responsibilities with the clerk's office, from election to payroll to budget tracking and supporting the county commissioners. I have hands-on experience with handling grants, budgets, document management, and just making sure that I'm there for the public. I know that the clerk's office practices parliamentary procedure in commissioners' meetings, and I'm familiar with this through 4-H. I know that it is incredibly critical to follow the law and to make sure that we are within compliance and to make sure that we have the public's trust. I have a strong commitment to serving the county commissioners, department heads, and state representatives with accurate and up-to-date information that can help them make informed decisions. I am a strong leader, and I know that I haven't had a traditional leadership role as a boss or anything, but I really prioritize collaborative learning, continuous public service, and making sure that we prioritize the people that we serve. Thank you for your consideration. I am dedicated to serving in this position, and I know that it's not just a job, and it's about earning and upholding the public's trust, which is something that I'm incredibly, I feel a great responsibility to the people to do. I have a background in web design and public communication, and I would like to move forward to improve the website and make sure that we are utilizing our social media to update the community, to make sure that they have the resources that they need, and to make sure that they feel the opportunity to come in and ask us any questions. So with that, I thank you for your consideration, and I hope to earn your confidence.
Thank you. Question number 1. The county clerk is the chief budget officer for the county. What is your experience with developing and managing a budget? Describe your accounting and finance experience.
So when I first started attending school, I went as an accounting major. So I attended 3 years of school in that pathway. So I have experience with QuickBooks and other accounting systems. I was also in charge of the summer reading budget at the library, and I had to coordinate a team and make sure that they knew what their budget is, allocating it depending on our participation in each event, and making sure that they recorded that correctly so that our bookkeeper could balance it at the end.
Thank you. Question number 2. The county clerk is the chief elections officer for the county. What is your experience and knowledge of overseeing county elections?
I don't have direct experience with this, but I am a dedicated voter, and I would like to learn more about the process of the election machines, what we need to do to make sure that it is trustworthy and that people are accountable and that the integrity of the election is maintained. I would go to other counties and see what they've done and try to refer to other people that have ran this election and try to rely on some of those our head election officials that can help me learn more about that.
All right, thank you. Do you have experience with managing employees? If so, what was the most difficult part of being a boss? If not, what do you anticipate being the most difficult part of being a boss?
Like I said before, I haven't directly been a boss anywhere. However, in my school experience, I was the team lead on several different projects. One of them was with a small band that is local to Sublette County, and I helped them create a marketing strategy. And with that, I had 4 people under me, and I was the team lead. I made sure that everything was allocated correctly and that we all met our timelines. And when it came to presentation day, we had less than appropriate attendance to that meeting. But because I had helped each one of these people accomplish each of their parts, I was able to help present the meeting by myself and make sure that the client got what they needed at the end.
All right, thank you. As the clerk, what do you believe your working relationship is with the county commissioners?
Well, the clerk serves as the clerk, obviously, to the county commissioners, but I think that their clerk needs to prioritize parliamentary procedure and make sure that they're recording the meetings correctly so that we don't open ourselves up to litigation. Also with the budget, I know that the clerk serves and helps them decide on the budget and present different parts of it and meet with every department head and make sure that they're getting what they need within the county and make sure that the county's not spending too much money and seeing where we're getting the money from. So I know that it's really important to make sure that we're scheduling meetings with everyone and being transparent about where the budget is going. Something that I would really prioritize is the state of the county. I think that we need to launch a modern version of the state of the county that's a clear report for the citizens and the everyday taxpayer that shows where tax dollars are going, what projects are underway, and how the community can be involved. And so I think that's something that the clerk can work with the county commissioners and make sure that they can approve something like that and make sure that the taxpayers have a say in what's happening.
All right, thank you. And then question number 5, will you be running for this office in 2026?
I had considered running for this office. I would like some more experience within the office, and it'd be amazing if I could get it this time. I think depending on who gets this clerk position and the process that they went through and how they are doing and how they are serving the county will help me decide at that point.
Thank you. Final question, is there anything else you would like for us to know, and do you have any questions for us?
I love Sublette County, and I've lived here my whole life, and I plan to live here the rest of my life. Like I said, I feel a great responsibility to the people of Sublette County. Sorry. Everything that I've done has been made possible because of the people that are sitting in this room and the people outside. And I think that whoever gets this position needs to prioritize those people. And I don't know, my only question for anyone here would be, what are the priorities or concerns that there would be for the next person who's the county clerk?
Well, we're going to be also asked too from the audience. Does anybody want to answer that? Okay. Okay, questions from, oh, Fran.
Can I ask you a
Yes,
question?
of course.
Go ahead,
Okay,
Fran.
how do you feel about our current Secretary of State and his policies?
I actually just submitted my application to the Secretary of State for my notary commission. I think that it's a very hard position, obviously. I don't have a personal opinion on his exact politics, but I would like to look into that more for sure.
Any other questions?
Somebody else ask a question.
Go ahead, Debbie.
Obviously, if you get this position, you will be new to the county clerk's office.
Yes.
And you will be trained by the employees that are already there.
Mhm.
How do you feel that you would navigate the training process and just that whole transition?
That's a great question. I would also try to reference previous county clerks, other maybe Teton County, and try to bring in some of their processes. I have a little bit of understanding of the clerk's office since I work in the assessor's office, and I often go over and make sure that our documents are matching what they do. I am appreciative of all learning experiences, and I personally wouldn't have any qualms with someone who would be my employee helping me learn something new.
All right, thank you. Well, that's it. If you wouldn't mind, I don't think Tara Bolgiano is here.
She's not.
So,
Secretary?
when you go out, would you ask Mr. Kerback to come in?
Yes, of course. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Mary, do you want to give the story on Tara?
Tara contacted me this afternoon and said she's in Colorado today. And wasn't gonna be able to be here this evening. We are gonna have, our process, we're gonna do our process and whether we wanted, I think it's, well, what I think doesn't matter. But she should be considered, not considered, I think that's up to each individual person how they go, or if there's somebody else has a thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, she did a show, so you can decide what you wanna do with it as you vote. Sharon, first of all, I'd like to thank you, as I did each candidate, for putting your name in the hat. It's not an easy thing to do, and we appreciate people wanting to step up and help the county. And you can either sit or stand, and the time clock will begin on your 3-minute visit with us, and then we'll go through the questions.
All right, thanks, Albert. My name's Kerback. I'm a resident of Pinedale. My family's been here since the late 1800s. I graduated from Pinedale High School. I went to college in northern Arizona, where I graduated top of my class in finance. I have a minor in investment. I'm 4 credit hours away if I had gone back to get an accounting degree, so I am schooled in the area that matters to the clerks. I've worked at the clerks now for a little over 3 years. I'm the chief deputy clerk under Carrie for the last year. I've participated in the elections, which I pretty much ran from start to finish. I created them, I tested all the machines, put out all the machines, sent everything off to the Secretary of State's office, did the audits after the elections, and also did the tests after the elections again. So I'm well versed in all the elections, which with the new staff that's there currently, we don't have anyone that's over a year experience in there. So I think it's important that somebody who's ever in there has some experience and is able to teach everyone that's coming up in that office. Me and Carrie were in there for, I'd say 4 months, just the two of us as well. So I really got to learn everything that has to do in that office, and I've been forced into every little section. I feel very comfortable with everything the job demands, and I hope that whoever you do choose just does have some experience in there and can step up and teach the other people what we need to know.
Right, thank you very much. Now we'll do the questions.
Okay.
So number 1, the county clerk is the chief budget officer for the county. What is your experience with developing and managing a budget? Describe your accounting and finance experience.
So I have finance degree in school. I was in investment clubs. I've gone on trips. I met with Warren Buffett for school. But I've also, so the first time I did the budget, I've done, we call it the workforce side. It's kind of the beginning stages of the budget. Then I also helped put the budget together with the first year. And then I kind of helped at the very end, just on the workforce side. That was kind of where I was at. Then next year, I was totally concentrated on elections, so it was just workforce again. But this last year, I've gone through our complete budget from start to finish, putting it together, meeting with all the different heads of their department heads, and then presenting it to the commissioners. And then after that, making the changes that the commissioners recommended. And today I spent the whole day figuring out our mill levy, how to move the money around so that we can get the mill levy to hit 12. So I have years of experience in that area, and it has been another one that's been a fast moving. It's not something you're gonna learn your first time going in.
Thank you. The county clerk is the chief election officer for the county. What is your experience and knowledge of overseeing county elections? I know you kind of mentioned that.
Yeah, I kind of went over the whole thing before, but I feel completely versed in all that, and that I would be able to train some of them. I've been meeting with the other clerks as well, and I talk to them on a regular basis and email back and forth with them, so I do have those connections as well, that if something comes up, or there's a question I don't know, which I know there is gonna be those questions, that I at least have a group of people that I can rely on and go to ask, and especially with the elections. I just went to election training with them in Gillette, just with all the new laws that have passed, stuff that might come up. And we went over, so we're trying to get more uniform as well. That was the big point of the last meeting, was we're trying to be uniform with everything, so that every county's not doing something different, which I'm sure some of you heard in the last election, a few of them got sued for doing stuff. So I think and this next one's gonna be just as bad, if not worse, from the other. It's where they're gonna be looking for stuff, and that was the whole meeting. So I think it's imperative that somebody be there that knows how to run the elections and put everything together.
Okay, thank you. Do you have experience with managing employees? If so, what was the most difficult part of being a boss? If not, what do you anticipate being the most difficult part of being a boss?
So I do have experience managing them. I have been filling in for Carrie since she left at the beginning of last month. She also took me through the hiring process of these last ones, because she knew she was gonna be stepping away soon. She put me in charge of training the last 2 people that we've hired on. So for the last 7 months, I've been in charge of training them. I think the most difficult part that I find is when I don't know stuff, to try to train them in those areas. But like I mentioned earlier, it's really nice to have people that I can rely on or go to if there's something that comes up, or just research it. There's a lot of information in there. If you kind of know where to look, you're able to find it.
All right, thank you. As the clerk, what do you believe your working relationship is with the county commissioners?
We're there as their record keepers to if they need help finding anything. I think when it comes to the budget process, we're there to collect all the information, present it to them, and let them make their decisions on that. I don't think it's our job to push what we believe is our budget on them. They need to be there to look through their budget, make the changes that they see fit, meet with those employees, setting it up, then going through the meetings, which I have been doing for, I'd say, the last 4 or 5 months, writing all the minutes, posting those, making it available to the public as best we can. I'm trying to think of some of the other stuff, sorry. I was having nervous, so many people looking at me. And I try everything available online, having as soon as possible too, especially with like recordings. I get all those posted online. I do all of our online postings, having to do with the commissioners and updating everything on there. So yeah, I think that's about it. Just working whatever they need, trying to help them.
Okay, thank you. Number 5, will you be running for this office in 2026?
Yes, if I get elected, I plan on running in 2026. I want to work for the county for a long time. I love Sublette County. I have 3 little girls and plan on raising them here, and I want to be here with spend more time with my dad. Don't plan on moving away anytime soon, and I want to be here working for the county.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the questions like I should have before. So there's 2 questions from the Joel?
Question, how would you describe your relationship with the others in the clerk's office at this time?
I think I have a really good relationship with them. I'm very open to listening to them. The training process, I think that was one of the reasons that Carrie had me. She just said, I'd rather have you train them. She had realized that some of her training process didn't go across well. After I talked to her, we talked about it, and so I think I have a great relationship with all of them in the office. And luckily we were able to get someone to come back to who had been there. And if you look at my recommendation letters, I know one of them, I have one of the current employees wrote a recommendation letter for me, as well as Carrie for it too. So I think I have a good relationship with everyone in there. And they know they can come to me and talk to me about anything.
Any other questions, Bill?
The county commissioners come to you
Mhm.
and they say, we need you to find or reduce the budget by X $100,000 or X $1,000,000, put in a number as you will.
Yeah.
How would you go about that? Would you do what they sometimes call horizontal cuts, where you take a percentage off of each? Or would you do what they call vertical, where you go after one or perhaps more programs and eliminate those?
I think I would go definitely vertical. There's certain ones you can't go horizontal. There's ones, I mean, going this last time, there were some that were really easy to take 20% out of. And there's some where if you took 20% out of, they're not gonna work. So I think you can't go horizontal across the board unless you're gonna go, I mean, in those other departments, you're gonna have to get rid of people because that's really all they have. So I don't think you could go horizontal without reducing the workforce in some, and then in other ones it would be an easy cut because they're so bloated in other areas that don't have to do with the workforce.
Okay, final question. Is there anything else you would like for us to know, and do you have any questions for us?
My biggest question would be, what do you guys want to see out of the clerk's office, and if there's something that you would like to see done there? I try to ask people that when they come in lately and see if there's something that they want. I have wanted to, hope maybe in the future, try to expand doing the clerk's office. I know the treasurer's goes to Big Piney. I tried to talk to Carrie about it. That's something I'd like to look into, where we could go there once a month like they do, to make it a little easier on people from there, where they're able to come and get their titles if we talk to them beforehand. I think it would be something that would be great for them. But if you guys have ideas, I would love to hear anything.
Graham?
I have one.
Yeah.
When you said you were reaching out to other clerks, why not reach out to the Secretary of State's office? They're very open. and
I do talk to them as
very
well.
kind. Okay.
I do,
that
yeah,
was-
no, I do, especially with election stuff too. I
How do
reach
you
out to
feel
them.
about our current secretaries?
I met him a few times. I really liked him. I
Just
haven't had a
curious,
problem.
because you mentioned other clerks, and I know his office is very accommodating.
They are, no, I was just talking with him today.
Thank you.
All right, well, I think that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And I think if you just go out and we'll do the election part, and then
Thank you
we'll let
all.
y'all know.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Mary, I'm gonna turn this over. So first, once again, the teller committee, if I didn't say it, the teller committee is Mary Langford, Debbie Vickery, and Bill Winning. And I believe I did say that. So Mary, I'm gonna turn the election part over to you, and you can run us through it.
Okay, so how we're gonna proceed now is that the teller committee, the three of us will go down the hall to the board meeting room, well, to the little conference room that's down here, so that we can tally the ballots as these folks vote. We have 23 votes. I think you'll agree with that. We had proxies for, we've got 3 people that are absent, and we have proxies for 2. So we have 23 votes tonight. We're gonna vote in 3 rounds. In the past, you folks, I've looked, you have voted for 3 people and ordered those and sent that. Well, the problem with that is that now the legislature has prohibited ranked choice voting, and that's what that is.
Yeah.
So that's why we're gonna go three rounds. So you'll vote for one, and then we'll take that person off.
Majority.
Yep, majority, then we'll, and the high vote getter, we'll go 3 rounds. So does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So the folks that are in the 2 front rows, we strategically planned or set you there because I'm gonna hand you out a ballot so that you can fill it out, and then we'll gather those ballots. And then we'll go down the hall and you guys can relax a little bit. And we're open, we're voting in front of the public. You could invite your folks that are in the hall back in if you want to while we vote. But you're gonna be voting on a piece of paper. And then I wanna talk to you just a little bit about what's gonna happen down the hall when Debbie and Bill and I get down there. We're going to take the ballots, and I will read the ballot to Bill and Debbie. They will tally. We have tally sheets. Before we start, we'll count and make sure we have 23 ballots. Then we're gonna tally and we're gonna balance at every 5 votes to make sure that we're balanced across the board. Then we're going to balance again at the end. We'll balance against our ballots again, check them, and then we'll provide the results to the chair, and the chairman will announce all of the votes for all of those we voted for, so.
Point of order, when you send out an email to the commissioners, if you could CC all of the or the county party, that would be nice. Whatever you send the commissioners, CC all of us, please,
Okay.
if you would, thank
Sure.
you.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Is that for
Yeah,
tomorrow's
that's fine.
notice?
Yeah. We'll all know tonight, but we're gonna do
Yeah.
official notice. We
Tomorrow.
talked about that tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. And,
So does anybody have any questions about that? I think it's pretty plain.
Bob?
This round of voting, we're voting for one person?
That's right.
Yeah.
You're voting for one person every time.
And then if you had a proxy, you know, you'll get how many ever?
You'll get 2 ballots for your, so Bill, you'll get 2 ballots. Albert, you'll get 2 ballots. Everybody else will get 1 ballot. Okay?
If somebody wouldn't mind going out and telling the candidates they can come back in, thanks. Appreciate that.
And then,
Is spelling an issue? I mean, if you get misspelled or something, is that?
you know what we could do is we could write the names on the board. Would that be helpful?
All right.
Let's,
You got it?
yeah.
Do you want me to do that?
If you want to. Yeah, he does.
All right. Good.
Oh, well,
Or
she's
some
gonna
props
have
down.
Oh,
I didn't think.
yeah,
were on
you
there.
give them all.
All right, you could read it.
Yeah, I wrote.
Well, you email everything.
You're darn right.
And every round of ballots is a different color. So, that way you can't sneak in a piece of paper, you guys. So,
Come on.
first round ballots is yellow.
Does anybody need a pen or a pencil? There's some over on that table over there if you need one.
And I think it's fine if you put both names or their last name, if you just wanna write their last name, I don't do that either. It's probably the simplest.
And we have 1 left over.
That was correct.
So, just go come get the bucket, Debbie, and go around and collect. Here's a couple more.
I was gonna say,
I'm gonna call this meeting back to order. So the winner of this round was Rice with 9 votes. Second was Kerback with 5, and Bachelor with 5, and last was Burbank with 4. So that's the first round. So the next round, Rice will be out, and we will vote on then there'll be 4 names still in the hat.
Could you read that again, please?
You bet. So Rice was the winner with 9 votes. Kerback followed with 5, and Bachelor with 5, and Burbank with 4. But the long of it is Rice is out. Kerback, Burbank, yeah, thank you, you erased. So look at the board, pick from the board. All right, thank you.
2 for you.
Okay. All right, do we have all the central committee? Yeah, looks like we do. All right, in the second round, we have Burbank with 11 votes, Kerback with 6 votes, Bachelor with 6 votes. So we'll erase Burbank and 0 votes for Ogiana.
Okay, green's the color this time.
So 11, 6, and 6. So we said
11, 6, and 6. All right, if I can get everybody's attention on the third and final round of voting. Kerback with 11 votes, Bachelor with 8 votes, Bolgiano with 4 votes. And so, once again, the 3 names will be Rice, Burbank, and Kerback. And I want to thank all the candidates once again for putting their name in and for stepping into the line of fire. It's much appreciated. So thank you and thanks. Does any of the committee have anything to say? Otherwise, we're adjourned.
No, I like the way that.
We're adjourned. We will send out that email. We'll make sure everybody gets that email.
Thank you.
Thank you.